How you guys doing today? This video is going to be a little different than what I usually do. Oftentimes we'll teach you tips and tricks. Oftentimes we'll show you a car we just built. Some of you guys may recognize this car from previous videos around Gearhead Garage. And in this instance, it's going to be a rare video because I'm actually going to be talking about my car that I just finished and that I'm actually planning to sell. So I'll walk around the car, tell you a little bit about it, and if anybody's interested in buying it, it's a really nice car. Only thing that's not done right now is I need to get the exhaust done, and I'm trying to decide a couple things: stainless exhaust or regular exhaust. I got a stereo question you guys can chime in on, and maybe a steering wheel choice question as well. So I'm going to ask you guys a few questions as I go through, see what you think. But if anybody's interested in buying the car, we're at $165,000. 1969 Camaro Rally Sport. This car was originally really clean when I got it. I wanted to buy the car from a buddy of mine a long time ago when it was like a grandma's car. It was a nice 69 Rally Sport, Le Mans blue, and my buddy that owns a paint shop, his dad had it, but they wouldn't sell it. Well, a few years later, they started fixing it up, and a few years later, I bought it off him, and I finished the car. Original Rally Sport, when we did the Le Mans blue, we actually had it roughed out in the base coat, no clear yet, and we fell in love with the satin. So this is not a wrap, this is actually a satin clear, and if you zoom in on the car, you'll notice that that is actually paint, and to be able to run a satin clear, it has to be flawless. With a clear coat, you can polish out any imperfections. When you're running a satin, what you spray is what you got. I think it turned out amazing, and as a result, we decided to brush all the chrome and stainless to give everything kind of a matte look. Even this fly likes it. So we brushed out all the convertible trim, brushed out the rush fourth wheels. The car's mini tubbed. We're sitting on 19-inch wide wheels in the rear, 19 by 12s to be exact, 335/30 19s, and then we've got 18/8s in the front. I'm running a Detroit Speed rear Quadra-Link suspension in the rear, and in the front I'm running SpeedTech's ProTouring subframe. It's all tied together with Hotchkis frame connectors, 13-inch Wilwood disc brakes on all corners, Ring Brothers door handles. I think you saw the billet tail lights earlier. These are a first off from All American Billet. These guys hooked me up with a raw finish to dress out the hood. Hideaway lights have the DSE electric motors kit in them, so they're now converted to electric. Under the hood, you can see a lot of different goodies. For braking, we're running the Detroit Speed, their special booster and master cylinder combo. It works phenomenally well. I've got an LS2 based engine that's a custom build. It's got ported heads, custom cam, block work. It's putting out about 540 horsepower, so not too crazy. I would say just right to be able to shred them on the street, but daily drive as much as you want. I was going to take the car and use it as basically a daily driver and also do a lot of track time out of like Good Guys events doing autocross. So I think the motor's built and proven and it'll do anything you want it to do. In addition to that, we've got air conditioning. So it's got a brand new Vintage Air Gen 5 system. So that's going to be a brand new heater and brand new air conditioning, all freshly charged up. Aluminum radiator with dual spall electric fans is going to keep the car cool. The car runs ice cold. While you're in here, you can also see I've got some pretty slick stainless headers on here. So that's why I was leaning towards stainless exhaust. A buddy of mine can do a full TIG weld system on it. But if I'm going to sell it at some point, where do I stop, right? So we'll see where we go with it. Anybody that's interested, you'll see some links below. And you can chime in the comments if you have your own opinions. We're running LS simple front brackets up here. Got the radiator close out. And then all the wires are mostly tucked away, right? Kept the battery up front for reliability. I'm always a fan of the battery up front. It looks cuter in the trunk, but it works a little better up front. Basically all GM computer, GM system, so I've got that reliable technology. If you want to walk inside the car, So if you take a walk inside the car, start on the outside and work your way in, you'll notice that I've got a premium German canvas cloth top from Robbins. So we put that on here in-house. All of the top frame as you cruise inside is all painted nicely. Brand new hardware, brand new hold downs, brand new top pads. Because the car looks like a subtle ProTouring from the outside, I decided, you know what, I want to keep it kind of stock inside. That's my style. I'm not a big modern race interior kind of guy. I like my stuff stock and modern. So you can kind of see here I've got the Dakota digital gauges. That doesn't mean they're digital, guys. They're electric. Got the oil, fuel, everything down below on the console like a factory Camaro would be. And then I've also got them in the dash with the speedo and the tack. You can see the vintage air controller. If you look by that shifter and on the shifter, 5-speed. So I've got a 5-speed Tremec transmission in here, running a hydraulic setup. It's all from SilverSport transmissions. I'm running a McLeod clutch, Tremec TKX 5-speed, Wilwood hydraulic master cylinder. So it's all stuff that we use on our builds every day that I know is tried and true and works. Because it's my car, I wanted to build it the way that we build our customer cars and the way I like my stuff. I want all the attention to detail done. So I've got all my convertible top wedges here. My little rubber bumpers are all in place. Spent a ton of time trying to make sure that my trim fits perfect in the convertible well. Just little things like the fit around here. So on this car underneath and all throughout, you'll see that it's just no loose ends. My cars are meant to be driven. They happen to be show winners, but I want the car to be reliable and drivable. I'll probably get a trunk mat in here and get the car all shined up and everything and do some spiffy pictures, but I just wanted to share it with you. You can see it's mini tubbed. It's got the DSE cross support, so it actually allows the shocks to sit up higher in there. I've still got my convertible shaker weights in here. This car's actually still got its original quarter panels. If I was to shine down the quarters, both quarter panels are original. Mostly all sheet metal is original on this car. It's had a great history. It was a clean car to start, and it's still super clean. Come around on the passenger side. Put the top down for you. You get a better look. All this stuff's all painted nice. You can get kind of a better look inside the car. This one's a manual top. A lot of times I'll do a power top, but it was a factory manual, so I kept it a manual. I've got a top boot for it as well. It's winter time, so I don't think I'm gonna be leaving the top down for very long. Honestly, this is probably the first time I've had it outside in front of the shop in a while. And I guess I need to decide, do I want to run the stock steering wheel and the stock radio or not? So one thing I'm still torn about, and maybe I let the buyer decide, do I keep the original Rally Sport steering wheel on here? It's in almost perfect condition, but it's got a crack. And right now I've got the radio out. I have the original radio, but it's just an AM radio. It's got the wood grain and everything, but it's huge and barely fits in there. So right now I have, that I bought for it, a brand new retro sound, their upgraded body 4 that has all outputs and everything for stereo, because I've already wired the car for stereo, 6-channel amplifier, all of that. But I'm trying to decide, do I do a stock deck, no stereo? Do I do a retro sound so I have a modern stereo with all the modern amenities that looks classic? Or, since the car's already headed Resto Mod ProTouring route, do I just cut the dash and put in a modern single din? What do you guys say? I know everybody's got an opinion, and I know if I cut it out, the buyer's gonna not want it cut out. If I put in a stock radio, somebody's got the other one. So let me know your thoughts. If you have any ideas on that, let me know. Also, she's a California car, registered and titled here in the state of California. And for many of you, you know California is the holy grail when it comes to a rust-free, bona fide, legit car. As I walk you underneath the car, you can see under here that it's all been rhino lined, it's all been coated, but it was clean to start with. So I'll walk you all around the underside of the car, and then we'll pop out and we'll finish the chat. You can see I've got the Tremec 5-speed Holley oil pan, rack and pinion steering on the SpeedTech front subframe. The ATS Corvette spindles give it extremely perfect suspension geometry and travel. The rockers and floors are finished off super clean. All the sheet metal underneath, all the floor pans are original. We've got subframe connectors tied in and welded. You can see the DSE Quadra-Link here and kind of a peek up underneath the quarter panels, and you can see the frame rails. And just really clean underneath. This is a Rick's Resto Mod tank with an Aero Motive fuel pump module, also running a VaporWorks controller, so it's just a single pulse width modulated fuel line going to the front, so extreme reliability, performance, not worried about heat soak and the like. Another shot at the track bar and the adjustable coilovers on the DSE rear. Brake lines and fuel lines, everything routed out of the way and secured, so we're not going to have any surprises. You can see the Wilwood e-brake cables tied in. Hard metal fuel and brake lines with rubber insulators, so they're not going to rattle. Nice connections. Adjustable prop valve. And here's the other side, driver's side, ATS spindle. In a world of 69 Camaros, I wanted to stand out and be a little different, but I also didn't need to be that guy that was going to be totally off the charts and totally buck wild. My build style is always kind of conservative. I like modern performance, modern reliability, all the safety upgrades, and I want to drive my cars. So I think this car in the satin blue gives it a different look than a lot of the other Camaros you're going to see out there. Should you try to build a car like this yourself, expect that you're going to spend 100 to 200 grand anymore to build a car. If you're going to do an LS engine, 5-speed, 4-wheel discs, custom suspension, body, paint, start with a car, it adds up. So if you guys need help finding the right car, check out our links below. If you're interested in this car, this is a great car. I hate to part with it, but with a son going to college and a daughter right on his heels, it probably makes sense to get rid of them. I still have a couple other cars, so it's not like I'm going to be without something. And if you think this could be you, holler at me, let me know. And because we're a shop, Gearhead Garage, turn around, we build cars better. So if you need something done to this, if you want this car, I'm looking to sell it. And if you're looking to have a badass car, this could be yours.